Hey everybody, this is Discord user Slappy White with Radish Digital. That's digital with a J. You can find us at radishdigital.com. You can also find us in Discord or in Twitter. Bringing you Radish Weekly from October 15th, where it's kind of timeless, at least for a little while, as long as you can be in Web3, where we're talking and focusing on the new folks who've found their way into the Blokpax community via Home Team Heroes and Battle Break #1. But if you're new to Blokpax and you're kind of getting your feet underneath you and you're ready to explore more about what Blokpax is about, this is intended for you. It's going to give you just enough information about each of the silos within Blokpax so you can start discovering, hey, what else does Blokpax do besides Home Team Heroes? It'll give you just enough information that you'll be dangerous. Let's get to this week's Radish Weekly, focusing on Blokpax and all the silos. This is primarily intended for folks who are new to the Blokpax community. If you are brand new to the Blokpax community and you are not interested in moving to the next level, if you don't want to scratch what's underneath the surface, do not watch. There is so much to unpack at Blokpax, and they do a great job with people new to their ecosystem, where they teach them that, you know, we want to take it slow with you. We don't want to overwhelm you. This is very important. So I stress, do not watch this until you've been part of Blokpax for a little bit. You've spoken with the Infinite, B-Jams, Zarek, all the other people in the ecosystem who've kind of helped you. This is only intended for those folks who love Home Team Heroes and say, hey, what is Blokpax about? Because you have to understand, Home Team Heroes, it's like the old parable about the elephant. You're literally touching the trunk, or you're touching, you know, the hind end or the leg of the elephant. Home Team Heroes is the smallest part of a gigantic elephant that is Blokpax. And so what we're going to do right here, we're going to answer some basic questions that some folks have. And then in addition to that, we are going to just kind of touch, we call them silos. They're different places in Blokpax. And we're just going to, all of us who are on the call are going to keep each other honest. And what we're going to do is try not to go deep. Our goal tonight is to give you basic information about each of these things so that if that's what interests you, if that's where you really want to go, you know enough that you will then go and discover more. We don't want to give you every detail about every aspect of Blokpax. We just want to give you enough for those who are ready to go to the next level to be able to check it out. All right. So with that said, I just want to introduce the folks who have come on to help present. Is that Tex, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Tex Hooper. I'm part of Radish Digital and a member of the Blokpax community. And I host the auction show, which will be starting up hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I believe auction should be starting up. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. All right. And let's see, for Jordan, you want to unmute?
Yeah. Been in Blokpax since March, just double checked it. Yeah, I'll be kind of helping with the set builder tonight. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's you're being.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, it's just a little bit about your background, but that's good enough. All right. So before we get started on all the Blokpax stuff, I am just going to hit the Radish stuff really super quick. And in fact, what we'll go ahead is that I'm going to just show you is that my name is Discord user Slappy White, and I'm with Radish Digital. And so Radish Digital is that we're a place that's home for digital breaking, digital auctions, digital fantasy, and content. And we really started out as a group of friends who, I know that Chicago's on the call tonight, and he's trying to figure everything out. So there were 5 of us who were trying to figure everything out when we first started in Web3. So we started our own community, and it's grown, and we look at a lot of different communities, but by far the best one we work with is Blokpax. So Radish does a lot of things. One of the things is we're the media partner for Blokpax. We're proud of that. We love to be a vetted media partner of theirs, and we love that they're a vetted partner of ours. And so one of the things we do is we do break their assets. Speaking of which, is that we are in the final hour of a 300-pack football HTH break. And so the way we assign the break spots is we do it by Home Team Hero. Each one has its own auction. And what happens at 9 o'clock, if nobody bids in the last 5 minutes, it'll end at 9 o'clock, and the highest bidder wins that break spot. And so every hero that gets pulled out of the 300 that we ripped, you get that hero, including any color pops. There will be no shatter packs in that. Shatter packs are something that are different, and they were available to folks who bought in the pre-sale, but we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so today, what do we have? Radish has an auction that's ending for a 300-pack football break. Then what do we have? Tomorrow, we're actually going to break it. During Monday Night Football halftime, that's when we traditionally break our packs that for auctions that end on Sunday. We're going to do that during Monday Night Football halftime tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, Blokpax has their Raz Rip Day. So you're going to be able to see we have, I know that Milvek, and actually I'm going to go ahead and I will show you that he has Milvek. I will share. If you go ahead and take a look, you can see I'm showing a new member Milvek, this is all public information for folks who are new to Web3. Just so you know, this information is, we're not sharing anything that everybody can't see. That's the nature of the blockchain. But you can see here, this is Raz. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be able to rip these on Tuesday to see what cards are you going for in the Raz. Then on Wednesday, we're going to be dropping BPX Break Room, where Hawkwin sat down with Blokpax moderator and sports card shop owner Zeddy to talk about his revamped website and a little bit about his background. And then also the Raz eliminations begin, and we'll get into that. That's on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, BPX After Dark with B Jams, one of the largest whales in the space. He does a weekly show at 9 o'clock Eastern on Thursday nights. And then the Radish Rips, we're going to have another football break going after this. And the auction is going to end that Thursday. Then on Friday, the Raz champion is going to be crowned for each of the cards. So we're going to get into the Blokpax stuff now for the beginning. And one of the things that I'm going to say for anybody on the call who's live, who's watching this live time, feel free to speak up at any point and say, I don't quite understand that. Can you explain that further? This is meant for your benefit. So please, please interrupt us anytime. But one more disclaimer. This is not meant for anyone who's new to Blokpax and is just understanding Home Team Heroes, just understanding what the product. Do not watch this. This is not intended for you because it is a lot of information. This is only intended for folks who have found out about Home Team Heroes, love it, can't stop finding out more information, are in the Discord asking questions, wondering, what are we talking about? What's this over here? What's that? For those people who just can't stop the itch and want to know more about Blokpax, it's for those newcomers where we're going to try to tell you just enough so you can go down that rabbit hole and really find out about what interests you. But we're not going to get into so much detail here that we're going to get you completely lost. All right. So with that said, we're going to start off first. We're going to go to Home Team Heroes. And so, Jordan, we had talked about set builder leaderboard. And so one of the things, can you just explain Home Team Hero? These folks, new folks, are obviously here because of Home Team Hero. Can you just explain in a basic way what 3 sports we have, what weapons we have, what colors we have, and what the sets are before you explain the set builder? And again, not too much detail, but you can just give that basic information.
Yes, I can. So Hometown Heroes has baseball, which was the first one, football second, and then they're going to have basketball eventually. You have common colors, which are, I should have this pulled up, but like around 1,200 per card. Then you have aqua, which is one of 199, blue, which is 1 of 99, red, which is 1 of 25. And then you have gold, which is 1 of 10, and then black, which is a 1 of 1. And then you have 6 different weapons: origin, biohazard.
Hey, Jordan, can you do me a favor? Can you just pull up the HTH website just so you can show it so people see it?
Yeah, I closed everything out, so I only had one up there. So let me pop it up real quick. I will stream it.
And I think the easiest thing for folks to say, what gets so many people excited about Home Team Heroes while Jordan pulls it up, it's the artwork. Is that when you see the artwork, in fact, one of the things Radish does a fantasy game with the Home Team Heroes. And I don't worry about the interface because honestly, people love the Home Team Hero artwork. That's all you need. Okay, Jordan, I see you've got it up. So just to explain maybe about the colors or however the weapons or whatever you're doing.
Yep.
I'll turn it back over to you.
Awesome. All right. So like this is a common parallel gambler. And then like I said, there are 6 different weapons: biohazard, origin, magma, fire, common, titanium. You can always tell it's an origin without even seeing it down here where it has this first edition at. Pretty easy to use the website to filter out what you need, but I'll show you a set builder here in a little bit. And then you have parallels, which I was mentioning earlier. 6 of each of those. The blue of 1 in 99, black are 1 of 1s. Lucky enough to have one of those. You got your aquas. And it always shows you like what's listed too. So you can see down here that these are all listed besides the fire. That's pretty cool. And then you want me to go into like lime, orange, pink, white?
Sure, if you want to show the shadows quick. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so lime shatter are 1 of 7, and there's the 6 parallels again, or weapons, apologize. Then you have your orange, which is 1 of 5, pink of 1 of 3, and then you also have your white shatters. Now in football, they did change those numbers up a little bit to make it, is it a 1 of 10 for lime?
I believe so, but that's okay. We don't have to.
Yep.
That's getting. I'm going to stop us. That's getting too much in the detail, but it's limited. Let's just say that much more limited than other cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, we have folks who you can see right now. We've got the baseball collection in here. You've got 5 weapon variants. You have the biohazard, the fire, the ice, the magma, and titanium, and then you have the origin. And you can see right now is that Jordan's on the origin one, and to many people, you can see that gambler second from the right on the top row. Many people believe the origin is the best one of them all. And so, but again, it's in the eye of the collector. And so in addition to having the different weapon variants, you have, as he's pointed out, the common, the aqua, the blue, the red, the gold, and the black. Now, one thing that I did notice some new folks were stating that a rainbow included a common. And it's funny, like I always feel like the common should have been included as part of the rainbow, but it is not. So a rainbow never includes the common. A common is just, there's no aqua rainbow. Aqua is the lowest color in the rainbow set. So you could have a blue rainbow, which is blue aqua. So we're not going to get into the whole points and kind of getting into that. But what I want to do is for folks who are now built, you're getting all these home team heroes and you're like, well, what do I do with them? So Jordan, there's 2 things. You want to compete against other people and see how well you're doing. And you also want to say, I'm a collector at heart and I want to have a collection. I want to have one of every baseball home team hero. I want to have one of every football home team hero. I want to have one of every common gambler weapon. So where do they go?
Did it switch over for me?
Nope, we're still showing. You get it at the top. It should say share this tab instead. Yep, there you go. We see it.
So from the home page, which is set-builder.collecthth.com, you can look at your football.
Okay, and hold on, before you say that, Jordan, is that how can I get to this web address that you just listed?
You can go to official links in Blokpax, or I believe through.
Okay, no, that's good. So in the Discord at Blokpax, you go to the official links channel, and then you'd click on where it says Home Team Heroes. And does it say Home Team Heroes Set Builder?
It does have a set builder there.
Okay.
Yep.
So we go into official links in the Blokpax Discord, and then we click on, if you go down towards the bottom, you'll see the HTH icon, and there's a set builder there. So you click on that, and what we're seeing now is what you pulled up. What'd you click on set builder, right?
That is correct.
Okay, go ahead. Thanks. I just want to make sure everybody knows where we're starting and where we are now.
Yep. And then so once you click on one of these, there's a couple of ways that you can view the leaderboard, which that's what this is. And it shows who they are, how many points they have. And you can view any of these if you really want to, like BJamps. or you can type your name in up here if you're not in the top 100, because this only shows the top 100. But it was updated for me at 7:05 p.m. So I can either type in my name or scroll down and find it. And now it shows your account summary, which will go into showing how many collection points you have, set bonuses, and rainbows. Nice thing about the new website they designed is it actually shows you how many points you get for that common rainbow, or sorry, common set. So I have 6 of them. It's 900,000 points. I have 1 aqua set. And then if you want to build or see how close you are to...
Jordan, just to give people a sense of what value is. So what you're saying right there is the 6 common sets are worth less than just 1 set of aqua of Home Team Heroes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's just for the new people so they understand like how important colors are. So again, it took him to get 6 sets. And so Jordan, for this is this is baseball or football? This is baseball. Okay.
Baseball.
So 6 baseball, there's 25 Home Team Heroes. So to have a common set, you're talking about having these. And again, so newcomers understand a common set is 1 of all 25 or 150, 1 of each weapon of each hero.
It is a common set is 1 of each hero, every weapon. So 150.
So 25 heroes times 5 weapons in the origin. That's 6 times 25. That's 150. So that represents 900 Home Team Heroes you have, and you get 900,000 points for that. Whereas the aqua, you have 1 aqua set, so you have 150 there, and that's equal to 1.1 million, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not trying to, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I just think it's an important point. So when people are collecting, is that if you want to focus on, it's fun, and for people who really want to collecting the common set, I think we all want to do that. But if you're looking to maximize your points, you might want to, and that's what people do who've been in the Blokpax ecosystem for a while. They figure out the best way to get points. So sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so if you want to see how close you are to, like, for instance, a common set for me, to get my 7th common set, I clicked on that, and it brings it up here. And it is an alphabetical order of what I need. And it's really cool if you need one of these. Click that. It brings you right to this screen here. And then I can buy one right now for 100 BPX or with a credit card for $3.87. And then I always have it where it pops up for me, so I don't have to scroll back between screens. And then, yeah, you can buy as many as you need to create your set. And then cool thing is it actually shows you when you go into like rainbows or set builders. Rainbows, it shows you that I will get 81,250 points if I was able to buy a Doc Red Fire.
So I think the important thing, and Jordan, you hit all the great points, is that for newcomers to Blokpax who have looked at Home Team Heroes, right, they're getting a couple cards and they're seeing it. These are traditional physical card collectors. And so, yes, people in the community, they collect for 2 reasons. One is for the reward points we get, but also people just want to collect them. They want the set. But I appreciate what you did, Jordan, because what you showed them is what is underneath. And Chicago, we'll get to you in 1 second, is that what's underneath is that why are people collecting? How are people collecting? How can you see how you should be collecting? What Blokpax has done, and for folks who don't understand, for the past 2 years, we didn't have this. People had spreadsheets that they were running and sharing with each other to try to figure out how to do something like this. And this is absolutely revolutionary. This is the last 2 months we've had this, where we're able to see what are the holes in our rainbows, how close are we? We just have to buy a couple of the things to get an extra 1 million points. It's just so much easier now. So what's great is this is the experience that you're getting involved in. Not only do you hold a number of collectibles, they will help you get to the next level if you want to. You don't have to. All right, so Chicago, you had your hand up. Do you have a question for Jordan?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I've been in the Blokpax ecosystem 2.5 weeks. I feel like I have a good grasp on that. I have a good grasp on everything here. The set builders, I've done rainbows. I've bought, sold, traded on the Discord, whichever one should join. I made friends with BJamps right off the bat. I just got lucky, and now we're good friends. And I've already sent his son a physical card, so I think I'm good. So I have two questions, and one goes specifically to where we're at. It is awesome that when you buy a box and your box, you open it with 20 cards and you get 2 blues and a aqua or something. And then you go to your set builder and then it'll automatically pre-populate, like Jordan has shown, how you build your rainbows, which is great. My question here is, it only does the descending rainbows as opposed to the ascending rainbows. Is there a way to filter that? For example, I just bought a box before this because I was jonesing. I'm a physical collector. I need to open stuff constantly. So I bought a box and I got some aquas, and I'm like, that is really cool. But they don't populate into the set builder because it's a descending algorithm, meaning if you have a blue, it'll go down. If you have a red, it'll go down. If you have a gold, it'll go down, shatter, et cetera, et cetera. But if you have the aquas, it won't let you know that you need the blue to complete the rainbow. Is there any way to set that up so that we can have it pre-populate our aquas, letting us know we need the blues and the other colors? Thanks.
So I can answer part of that. So I will tell you that their old system, right before this one, it actually did that, and it allowed you to see all rainbows through all of your heroes. So you could see only have one blue of Gavilar. So I think they're working on that. They really just wanted this function where you can click to buy and then also have the leaderboard update quite frequently. So to answer your first question, I think they're going to put that in there eventually, just because I use that tool a lot. I know a lot of other collectors do as well. But that is one reason why I still have my spreadsheet.
You won't let go of your spreadsheet.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to do by looking at your collection and figuring out, okay, I have these aquas, I don't have the blues, or I have these blues and I don't have the reds, and reverse engineer your rainbows. That's what I do. So I look and I'm like, oh, I need this red one, even though it's not in my set builder, but fair enough. The other question I had, and you explained it real well about the different levels, the different cards. When you're in your collection view, is there any way to filter or separate out by alphabetical order the players and the colors? I'm finding it a little bit difficult because, when I first started, I only had 20 cards. Now I have hundreds of cards and then several pages, and I'm finding myself trying to go back and forth between the pages and to have an organization within my collection so I can look and see, well, I have 5 of this, 3 of that, 2 of that, I need this, I have blues, I have aquas, because my page sets up kind of weird where some of the aquas are at the beginning and then some of the aquas are on my last page. So I was just trying to figure out if there's a way to filter that. Thanks.
Jordan, we'll leave it to you because you are the set builder master.
So you're saying like when you're on set builder or when you're on your BPX market or account that you see all your cards and you're filtering them there, or I guess where are you trying to?
Yeah. So what I do is I bifurcate, or I work with 2 monitors, and I have my collection on one, and then I have the set builder on another, and I toggle back and forth. I think that works well, especially for new people that don't have the spreadsheets or that knowledge. And so yeah, I'm trying to figure out in the Blokpax universe collection view where you go like on my collection and it lists like all of the digital cards you have for football, for example. How I can filter them. So I got like all my commons in alphabetical order, then like all my aquas, then all my blues, then reds, golds, and color pops, etc., shatters. Because mine right now are kind of all over the place, and I'm just trying to figure out how to filter.
So when you do your filter here, and sometimes it does air out if you like go back and forth for
Hey, Jordan, my apologies. 1 second. Chicago, you're only able to join us by voice. You can't see the screen, correct?
No, I can see the screen.
Oh, you can. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought before you were saying you were only going to be able to join by voice. Sorry.
No, I because of where I'm at logistically, I'm not showing my face and where I'm at. But no, I have full access to everything you're showing.
Okay, great. Sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
So you were saying like this. So it's looking kind of weird on my end too. It's only showing 4, 2 of those, 4 of those, where obviously I have all of them. So it's kind of hard to tell you what to do, but this is what I do. I do it by hero. Because I can see them all on one screen, because as you noticed when I did that, it aired out. When I do it non-hero and just parallel, it does get a little wonky and not list in order. So that's a couple things that they need to, I guess, fix. So I always do it by hero, but they do have this spreadsheet, just so you know, in the Discord where it's already laid out for you like mine looks, and you can put your cards in that way too. But yeah, they need to, there's a couple bugs.
Sense.
Yeah, it is. To get to that, you have to go to schedule, and then at the very bottom it says home team hero. Sorry, it says universal checklist, and then it has it there for you, and you just have to save it, and then you can add your cards in. But yeah, there is no real way to what you're asking to see that. You have to do it by individual card or hero. I apologize.
Okay, thanks.
Even like the black.
It was easy when I first started, and I only had 80 cards, but now I.
Yep, no, that is understandable there. Just like I've said, the black doesn't go in order for rainbows either. So I'll show you. So you would think that black would be the hardest one to get, or should be the very first one in your rainbows, but it's the second one. So they just have a couple little things they need to tweak out and work out, and I know they're ramping up for a couple things right now. Yeah.
Also, yeah, I don't know if anybody mentioned this, but just to be clear, these aren't necessarily bugs in the system. It's just that they're still, this is so brand new, it's still being built and everything. So, there's little things here and there, but it's all because it's still, very much a work in progress. They're making improvements to it, all the time and everything.
That's a great point, Tex. And one of the things I know one of the newer people who's in here, and it's hard because so I'm going to just address one thing. Is some newer people came in and they were pointing out some things that don't feel right, don't look right when they're in Blokpax. And what's really hard is, I think for those people who've been in Blokpax for 2 years, is that there's a little bit of pushback and a little bristling, and it's hard because Blokpax is our baby. We love everything. Jeff French, the owner, the founder, and Caroline and Infinite and James and just the entire team. I don't want to start an Entropy, and I could keep going, and Matthew and Nancy Margaret, like these people kill themselves for us. And for everybody involved in Blokpax, it is by far given back more. It's very hard to have been involved in Blokpax and not gotten more financially if you wanted to. The problem with people like Jordan and myself, we never sell anything. But if you wanted to, you could actually take out more. So we get a little bit defensive, but I love the new people. For the newer people, you have to understand, after that battle break that they did the other night, we've never seen an infusion of new people in the Discord like we did after that, like dominating the conversation. And that's good and it's healthy. And I love fresh eyes. Our eyes are, for many of us, it's 2 years old on the project. So for new people to have fresh eyes, the hard part is you guys have not even seen what the engineering team has done. And as folks are saying, this marketplace that you're seeing, this set builder, this is all within 2 months old. And Jordan's talking about the version before. The version before was 2 weeks ago. We're not talking 6 months ago. The last version was days or weeks ago. And that's why I'm glad to have Jordan on this call, because he's in tune with it every day. So I liken it to the team at Blokpax has built a Ferrari engine. And so what happens is when new folks come in, they see there's no doors on the Ferrari, and they're like, not to be a stickler, guys, but like, could you put freaking doors on the car? Like, at the very least, could you put doors? And people in the Blokpax community are like, are you looking at the Ferrari engine? Like, don't worry about the doors. I'm like, how many places can you go and have a Ferrari engine? And what needs to happen, right, is there needs to be both. Is that you wanted the new people, you came because of the Home Team Hero. You're going to stay because of their Ferrari engine. But conversely, I appreciate all the new people who came in and said, just to let you know, I'm sticking around, but I don't like this in the beginning. And I think we need to pay attention to what the new people are saying, because they're the ones who are going to help us get even more new people. All right. So one other question I just want to, is that Chris had a comment where he was in here and he said, one question I have is what happens to the cards after the season is over? So once the season is over, and when we say season, so this is when you use the term season, it means a couple things. Right now, Home Team Heroes has released baseball from this past season. They're doing football right now, and basketball is coming up. And they've only released baseball and football. So when we're talking about seasons, generally speaking, we're talking about a Blokpax season. And within the Blokpax community, the Home Team Hero, a season is when they decide they've stopped and they're going to take a snapshot of what you own and decide based on everything you have in there, the collection you have, the rainbows, the sets, they're going to award you the points we've been talking about. And so if you have 1 million points, that does not mean you get 1 million BPX. And we're not going to go into it here, but just know when you saw Jordan's collection that said, he had an aqua set was worth 1.1 million points. That is not worth 1.1 million BPX. There's a finite amount of BPX that will be awarded after season 2. And they're going to add up everybody's points, and then they're going to parse it out so that Jordan's got 2% of all the points. So he'll get 2% of all the BPX. But so when that snapshot is taken, is that you should expect the card's value to plummet considerably. Now, there's always a big argument for, are they completely worthless? There's so many collectors in this community that people hold on to their sets. They don't flush them. They don't get rid of them. And people actually will still buy it. But until this community and this project blows up and people want to go back and buy the Genesis set that is Home Team Heroes, the value on it will really be, you need to look at it in terms of what happens before the snapshot, other than what you personally find in the value. And the one thing to keep in mind, Tex, you kind of answered it, is that when you talked about the snapshot for season 2 has not been decided. What's hard is now you have 3 sports and they run over each other. So if they do it before baseball, basketball is still going on. So I don't know if they're going to take a snapshot maybe halfway through the basketball season, but there's no point where the sports stop that they can take a snapshot. So just keep in mind, it hasn't been decided when the snapshot is going to be taken. Just at some point in 2024, probably in the spring is when it's going to take place. All right, and then it looks like Chicago Collector had a question, and then we're going to move on to Raz next. But I think Jamps is actually going to probably be able to join us, so we'll skip over to Raz in case he can hop on and come back. But Chicago, what was your question?
Yeah, so that's a good point. I just heard through the rumor mills that just because I've been on Discord and chatting with some folks that are OGs, so to speak, that the snapshot might be at the end of the basketball season for everything. I don't know if that's true, but whatever. My question is, if you're only in one of the sports and the snapshot's taken, is the snapshot for all the sports, or are they individually parsed out per sport for the points?
That's kind of where the rub is right now. Because of the seasons all overlapping, they're having to kind of figure that out as they go. Because they would like to do it where, as each year you basically take a snapshot of all the sports all at once and pay out all the BPX all at once. But because the sports obviously end at different times and there's overlap with the sports, they're kind of figuring that out. I believe the last I knew, the plan was kind of to do the baseball snapshot, unless things have changed. And like I said, I haven't heard anything from Frenchie, but the thought was to do the baseball snapshot hopefully in the spring, definitely before spring training starts for the new year, and before they release next year's baseball. And then basketball, they weren't sure when they were going to do that, and the football snapshot would probably be in the spring also.
Tech, sorry to interrupt you, is that we've done a pretty good job, but I'm going to stop you there because no, because
it's definitely in the weeds.
We're going into the Sharks.
Yes.
The key thing to Chicago, as you said, you've heard, is one thing that you have to understand about this is that the founder, Jeff, is extremely creative. He loves creating just incredibly complex systems. And the reality is he doesn't know for sure. They're not holding it back from us. There's not a secret that a few people know. So just know that the folks who've told you when they think it's going to be, 100%, that's probably what it is most likely going to be today. But I can tell you this, based on market conditions, the number of people coming in, right? People are buying this set or that, and they're going to look at their other product lines and what they're doing. We're about to tell you the 10 other things that they're doing briefly. So they're juggling Home Team Heroes with 9 other things. It has not been set in stone. So just know that any decision you make is subject to a moving target on when that snapshot's going to be. But I think, Tex, you hit it when you talked about that's the rub. Just know that some people are focusing on baseball. They find then they can get more bang for their buck out of the baseball Home Team Heroes than football. Some people think football. So it's part of it is you have to figure that out. You're trying to accumulate points. But the snapshot will, whenever it's taken, it will include baseball and football for sure. And it definitely will include some basketball, if not all of basketball. And if it's all of basketball, then it's going to include some of the next baseball season. But that will depend on the snapshot. But it will take, you do not need to be in every sport. You do not need in order to have a lot of points. That's the key thing. Don't play in every sport if you don't want to. That doesn't harm you. You just go harder in the sport you want.
That's a good point. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to follow up because in the chat, people were talking about, well, I just got in and I pretty much missed the baseball season. And my point to them was, so focus on football, and go hard at football. The fact that you miss baseball is not necessarily a negative. I mean, go hard at football. You got folks that are still ingrained in the baseball and going hard at the baseball, but you don't lose out by going hard at the football and then, going for basketball when it comes out, if you so decide. But, you don't lose anything because you miss that sport, because it's kind of a contemporaneous amalgamation of everything. So you can get lots of points from just the football. I think in just a few days, I've gotten a fair amount of points in football already. So, anyway, that was just my point. Thanks.
I just want to state one other thing really quick for the new people too. Do not worry about when the snapshot is. You will be given plenty of warning before the snapshot. Once it's finally decided, we'll be given at least, a full week's notice as to when the snapshot will be. It won't be a thing where like you just wake up one morning and, oh, the snapshot's this afternoon at 4:00. They will give us plenty of warning as to when the snapshot will be. So if there's sets you need to finish or, points, you still want to try and gather, you'll have plenty of time to do that.
Can I just add one more point? This is the new Chicago 2.5 weeks in. To pick up on Slappy's point at the beginning, this could not be a more generous community. I'm new here. I have had people just give me things that I needed for rainbows, ask for nothing back. I'm not made that way. I always give something back, but they're always giving me and helping me. It's a very helping community as opposed to competitive, like in the physical card market that I come from. First of all, second of all, they just gave me 2 Raz boxes just to say thank you for joining, and they helped me set up my OpenSea and my crypto stuff. And I'm going to get two free Raz boxes for the opening that they're going to be talking about later. That's just for free to say, hey, thank you. So I think that's pretty unbelievable, because you don't go to a card show, walk up to a table and have a guy say, you know what, here's a 3rd year Jordan. Just take it. Thanks for coming to the show. It just doesn't happen. So I wanted to thank the community for that, and for having this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Thanks,
That's
Chicago.
awesome. Very cool.
Let's see. Okay, before we move on, and so we're going to go to the text next, where we're going to talk about the reward store. Is that Chris had a question? Chris, what's your question?
No, sorry about that. Actually, I just wanted to tag on to what Chicago had said. And I posted this, I think, in Radish, but I was explaining this to my wife today, trying to, she's skeptical, of course, and showing her, because she's like, well, you have stacks of
wives are.
Right. She's like, we have all these stacks of cards that are, they're just sitting there. And I'm like, well, yeah, but see, here's the difference. For me to take one of those $2 cards, sell it on eBay, blah, 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 ship it, whatever, it's not worth the time. And like with this, it takes that whole middleman out. That's the most alluring part that I've found about this. So, and as well, the community so far has just been outstanding. I mean, even for you guys to take the time tonight for, a couple of us new guys to share this. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we love having you here, Chris. And, for Blokpax, that's music to their ears, because one of the things that they did, and it's hard for the community to understand, is that we used to have to go through something called OpenSea. And a decision was made recently. They always wanted to have their own marketplace, but there was more of a sense of urgency. And so you hit the nail on the head. The reason why you're having that experience and cutting out the middleman is because Blokpax created their own marketplace, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you, Chris in Chicago, and everybody who's new. Appreciate having you here live, appreciating those who are going to watch it recorded. So Tex, let's go into the next one, which is, I know Chicago cannot wait to use his auction credit, and he wants to use it in the reward store. We'll talk about auctions later, which is that you're an expert in the Blokpax auction. But Tex, talk to us about the Blokpax reward store, and go ahead and share the screen. And Jordan, thank you so much for all that information. And stick around so you can contribute as well, please.
All right, let me get my, can you guys see that? Can you see my screen?
We can.
Okay, excellent. So this is on the main Blokpax Discord.
Oh, and
go into the Discord.
Can I just I want to put the disclaimer again in case somebody starts watching. If you are new to Blokpax, this is intended for you only if you are in the Discord, you can't stop reading and engaging, and you want to know more about Blokpax. This is not intended for if you're new to Blokpax and Home Team Heroes and you haven't scratched the surface, you're happy just getting comfortable, stop watching. This is 100% not meant for you. This will overwhelm you. This will be too much information. Stop, and you'll have a better experience. You can come back and see this in a month, 2 months, whenever you're ready for it. This is only intended for the folks who want to scratch below the surface. And even then, for Chicago, for Chris, for all you new folks, we're going to try to keep it light, so you see something that you're like, I want to know more about that rabbit hole. And then you can go deeper in the Blokpax Discord or the Radish Discord. But go ahead, Tex, is like, take us down the rabbit hole. That's the reward store, but not too deep.
Okay, so again, if you go into the official links, you can get directly to the auction website. They paused auctions about a month ago. Because with everything going on and stuff with football, and they're also moving to a gasless auction platform where it'll no longer cost any gas to use the site. Gas is if you're using your crypto, Ethereum out of crypto, you have to pay a fee essentially to use that. The fee varies by how much traffic there is on the blockchain. It can be very expensive. It can be pennies. It's wildly all over the map. So they wanted to eliminate that and make it an easier, friendlier auction environment. And that's what they're doing. Auctions will probably be restarting. We don't have anything official yet, but that last week in October, probably. This week will be the RAS, and we're assuming that the following week is when the auctions will start up again. So if you go from this page, that will bring you to this page. Is it up? Let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Hey, hold on a second, Tex. I was checking a message that people are sending me a message while it's going. So we're over on auctions. We're not doing auctions now. So the reward store.
Correct. Oh,
Okay.
you want to go reward store first? Okay.
Yeah. Just we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna break you up and have you do auctions after. So just reward.
Gotcha.
Actually, you want to know what? I'll tell you what. You're on auctions. Let's stick with auctions. The reason why I wanted to put reward store first is I know folks like Chicago are dying for the reward store. I know it means a lot to the new people.
Well, let's keep them wanting. We gotta keep them engaged here.
What's that, Chicago?
I said I'll relax. It's just breaching the gap between physical collecting and digital, just like Chris had mentioned. There's so many pluses that outweigh the minuses, but also I'm hardwired to have that instant gratification. You know what I mean? So I apologize for the enthusiasm, but I'll try to channel it down a little bit.
Oh no, dude, don't stop. Nobody.
Yeah, no.
You and Chris and everybody else has brought excitement and energy and not to mention you guys talk about the community that you're coming into. Well, we talk about you guys coming into the community, and the messages behind the scene are all about, man, there's some really good people. Man, this person's really good. We're excited to have people who are like-minded in the community. So the auction is to tee it up for Tex, which is honestly the only reason why you guys aren't asking more about the auction is because it's not live right now. If you actually knew what was going on and you saw the deals you could be having, not every time, but some of the deals you could be getting in the other auctions. And again, this is physical. There's some digital, but most of this, we're talking physical auction, physical card auction. So I'll tee that up for Tex. He was at the Discord. I broke his mojo. And then he took us over to bpx.auction, which always go to, Tex Jordan did a great job. Always, guys, just go back to the Blokpax Discord official links. Don't set it on your desktop. Don't do anything. Don't Google it. Go to official links and Blokpax. It's the best place to go. Infinite is incredible. He does a great job with that Discord. So Tex, you took us to bpx.auction and tell us what we're seeing.
Okay, so these were all the auctions that BPX, that the team had run up to about a month ago. You can go all the way back. You can click on any of these and look at them and see the results. We go all the way back to the very first alpha auction, as it's called, which is basically their test auction. They've had various iterations of the auctions. They've had TCG Thursdays, where it's all, or not all, but mostly Magic, the Gathering cards.
So I didn't know what TCG meant. Let's ask Chris. Do you know what? Don't say it, Tex. Chris, do you know what TCG means? We'll give him a chance to unmute. Well, actually, Chicago or Chris?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, well, right here with you. What does TCG mean, Tex? In fact, I'm wondering if you know.
It means
don't Google it.
TCG player is who.
I can see the white screen.
Trading card game.
I know. Yeah.
I'm glad I came in for this.
Yes, trading card games, right?
Yes. Thank you, Jason. Jason's 100% right. All right. Hey, and I see James.
I don't deal in any of this stuff, so
okay.
I'm unfamiliar with
that's okay.
Terminology.
My wife's in the military, and so I love saying to her all the time, I'm like, tell me what that stands for. Tell me what that. I ask all our colleagues, and like
all the acronyms.
They can't do it. By the way, Jamps is on, so Jamps will, as long as you got the little one down, we'll go to you for the Raz next. So go ahead, Tex.
Okay, so like I said, various auctions. This was a Throwback Thursday, which was, as you can see, it was
All right, so I'm gonna do
old time cards, old school cards.
That's enough of a tease. Come back
Yeah.
out of that. That's too far down in the
Okay.
week. After we get off, we'll make sure to include it. But people know the official links. You go to auction. You have this page. Just explain the weekly auction.
Yeah.
You hit TCG. Did you hit the Monster Monday as well?
I didn't, because there hadn't been a Monster Monday since, I think, back. Yeah, the last one. Here we go. This was the Monster Monday. This was a New England Patriots New York Jets, September 23rd, 2001 full ticket. It was the game Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe. And after the Jets, I believe they tore his spleen and knocked him out of the game. It went for 100,000 BPX. And all of the cards that will be in the auction are all slabbed and graded cards.
Hey, but
there's no raw cards.
Tex, talking about players' organs is too far in the weeds.
Well, it's a happy memory for me. That's why I bring it.
All right, so Chicago has a question, but the one thing you're going to take us is that you're just going to take us to where they can find the interview where Tex Hooper, as the host of BPX After Dark Auction Edition, which is broadcast. So the weekly auctions end when, Tex? Well, when did they used to end? Every Sunday?
The auctions would end, yes, Sunday nights.
At 9.
At 9, extended bidding. There was a period of extended bidding that started at 9 o'clock. And that period of extended bidding would reset every time there was a new bid until it finally got to a point where there were no longer any bids. Then the timer would run out, and that would be the winner, whoever was the highest bid at that point.
And Chicago,
the timer was put in to eliminate sniping.
And Chicago, we'll get to your question in 1 second, but this community, though, Tex, is that it changed over time, but nobody bids until the last. And actually, we should say extended bidding was extended for every item, regardless of if there was only one bid or not. So everything went into extended bidding. The true ending really was 9:20. But what it was is between 9 and 9:20, every time there was a bid, it extended 20 minutes from that point. But what we found is all the bidding got done between 9 and 9, between 8 and 9 o'clock on Sunday night, right?
Right. Yeah. And then it would go depending on the card or the box or whatever it was.
So
it would go, it could go an hour. It could go 20 minutes. It would all depend.
It would go, we'd have a couple go till 1 a.m. East Coast time. But then,
yeah. We had a couple go very late. Yeah.
But one important thing is that those auctions were BPX only you could bid. And the big change happening is when they reopen the auctions is that credit cards are going to be allowed. But again, as Chicago knows and others know, there's a difference between the credit card price and the BPX price. And it's going to make you want to have BPX so you can bid in these auctions because you will get a better deal using BPX. But Tex, where can they find this interview of you sitting down with the owner of Blokpax talking about auctions, where they were, where they're going? Where can I find that?
They can go to radishdigital.com. And as you can see on the screen, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can click on this video. That's Frenchie, the owner creator of Blokpax. And it's an interview I did with him a few weeks ago now. And we go all through the new auction format. We talk about how the credit cards will work, the price differences between using a credit card and using BPX, the advantages or disadvantages of a credit card. We go through as much as Frenchie could kind of tell us at that point about what was going on with the new auction format. And another huge thing, like I said before, is that these auctions going forward will be gasless. So you won't have to worry about that.
No, don't bring it up.
And your crypto and all that. It's too much. It's too much.
They don't understand gas. Don't talk about gas. All right. So
you don't want to understand gas.
So Chicago, did you have a question for Tex?
Yeah, you essentially answered my question, and it was were the auctions did they allow for BPX and or money? And obviously they are, because the credit we got and the nice credit we got matching up to 500 for joining and coming on in the fourth or fifth wave is very generous, but it obviously can be used cash money as well as the BPX. So you answered that question, but my other question is, how can you buy BPX, or is that too advanced for this particular go round?
That's probably
Hold
something.
on. We will.
Do you want to go through it, Slappy?
At the end of the show, I'll tell you what we're going to do. At the end of the show, we will go deeper, like the MetaMask Chicago that we're going to get into. We will go into deeper issues at the very end, so I can do a nice little edit cut to this show. But we'll talk about that at the end, Chicago, if you have the time and can stick around.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Awesome.
Tex, anything final you want to share about the auction? You did a great job. And for people who have not joined it, Tex in his BPX After Dark Auction Edition Sunday show starts at, I think, 8:45, which is 15 minutes before extended bidding starts. And it just, he's hanging out, usually with According to Hen, great community member, as well as some other friends. And they basically, you tune in, Tex does all the comps, and he will tell you which cards are going for a steal, which ones you should be looking at. And just they go through the cards, talk about who's bidding what. So exciting show.
It's a bit of play by play for the end of the auction. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty loosey goosey. We have a good time with it.
All right. Well, it looks like there's no other questions. So Tex, stick around. We'll get to the reward store. But Jams, is your little one down? Can we get you to talk about Raz?
Yeah, he is. My camera's not on because I'm out on the porch and there's no light out here, so I'm just sitting. I'm just sitting in the dark.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the only thing. I'll share two things, which is the first thing I'm going to share is the announcement from Blokpax, which has the dates, the schedule that Caroline said, who has missed Thanos from September 29th. So it looks like, Jams, before you start talking about Raz, which people are kind of hearing about. So the PAX rip on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the eliminations happen. And so the championship is crowned on Friday. So what folks are seeing while you're talking is just Caroline's announcement. And then the only other thing I can really show, and you tell me when to do it, is I can go into Milvex OpenSea wallet and I can show them, the packs. But other than that that's what's shown here. And the goal, Jams, and this is a good time to remind folks, if you're new to Blokpax, you just found out about Home Team Heroes, you're a real world card collector, and you're a little bit lost. Stop. Just, this is not meant for you. Come back in a week, 6 weeks, 6 months when you're ready for this. 100% don't watch this. This is for the members of the community who've joined since the pack break, the last couple of weeks on the Facebook ads, the people who are just excited about Home Team Heroes and want to know about everything from Blokpax, want to scratch the surface and want to get involved in other things. Because the biggest thing, and Jams, you hear me saying it all the time, is that I tend to give people the fire hose, because I know when I got involved, I was like, we started the show by saying Hawkwind told me about Blokpax in July when it first launched. And I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And I finally signed up in November. And I'm like, damn it, why didn't I get involved in July? And so the common denominator among all the members here are that they wish they had known 6 months ago what they eventually know. And they just want to know it all now immediately. So we're not giving people all the information, but we're giving them enough information about the different silos that for folks new people who want to scratch the surface, we're going to kind of guide them on which rabbit hole they should try to go down and get more information. And the rabbit hole assigned to you, Jamps, is Raz. So tell us about Raz.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of a logical next place for people that are coming in off these ads, because I think the common theme that at least I've been noticing, the newest people are, they're wanting to see how can they get physical cards. So this is a way that obviously we can show them to get physical cards. I want to take a step back though and just explain what a Raz is. So Raz, let's say there's a Mickey Mantle card and there'll be 2,048 entries. So you'll open up your packs, you'll have entries. Every time there's an elimination, it gets cut in half. So it goes from 2048 down to 1024. And then after each round, you're able to trade or buy and sell the different ones that you have. Obviously, if yours is eliminated, it's gone. There is no more value on that. But for everyone that stays around, the EV or expected value of that one spot is going to double. So it's pretty cool. You can, so there's some people that like to open packs and just let it ride, see, we call it ripping and riding, see what happens. There's other people that get them and then try to trade so they, stack up on the one that they really want. Other people wait till later on and try to buy in when there's only, a few left. But the Raz itself was really, it was what Blokpax was when Blokpax first came around, way before Home Team Heroes was even a thought. The real truth of the matter is it's great for community building, but there's no real way to run a business just doing the Raz. You would bleed yourself dry. So they came up with Home Team Heroes, but the Raz is super, super fun. The way they've reworked it now is instead of selling the Raz as their product, is they're giving it away for bonuses. Like, so for this Raz right here that you have on the screen, no one bought these directly from Radish. From Blokpax. They told us that during a set period of time, as long as you spend at least $50 on the secondary market, that they were going to then pro rata distribute these packs to us for the Raz. We didn't know what was going to be in it yet, but that's what we did. And I went as hard as I could because I knew that, well, one, I needed to buy the Home Team Heroes for what I was trying to collect anyway. So I figured, hey, well, let's try to take advantage. So I did. I got like a little over 200 boxes. So then, I think there was only like 4,000 and something boxes in this. But that's when I came up with the idea that I think it's nice to try to get these into the hands of some of the newer guys. So that's, but I can't just have people saying, "Oh, here's a wallet, send it to me." I wanted everyone to get with Infinite Night first, and make sure that he'll get you set up the right way, and then I'll send it over. And actually, another member of our community, Xteric, he graciously decided to match me. So everyone that's getting one is from me is also going to get one from him also. I don't know, Slappy, what do you think I should touch on in terms of, it's up on the screen now. So that's the Raz. I can't really see. Is that the box, Slappy?
It is.
Okay, yeah. So the box has 20 packs in it. So that's what you see right here. If you have more than one, there'll be a little X times 2 multiplier in the corner. And then come Tuesday, when it's rip time, these are going to disappear from your MetaMask. Don't panic though. You'll go over to blokpax.com, and that's where you're actually then going to open up the individual packs. So for every box you have, that's 20 packs. If you're one of the new guys and you're getting one from me and one from Xteric, then that'll be 40 packs for you to rip open. So you'll rip each one. Most of them are going to be, one of those entries that are one in a 2048 shot of winning whatever the card may be. We could drop a link somewhere, Slappy, for them to see what the set list is, so they can see what's what cards are actually up for grabs. But like I said, the vast majority or all of them that you get are going to be just that. But then there are these things called instant winners. They're going to be mixed in. Obviously, they're going to be a lot rarer. But if you get an instant winner, that is, it's not out of 2048. You just, you hold on to that. Once the Raz is all done, then they do a randomization of all the people that got the instant winners, and they assign you which of the instant winners from the set list is actually yours. So those are the great hits. They're not typically the biggest cards in the Raz, but there's definitely always ones in the $1,000-$2,000 price range in there. So it's definitely nice to see a instant winner. But the odds, if you have one or two boxes, the odds are not in your favor to get one. But you never know.
So, Jams, I moved the screen up, and I know you're looking on mobile, so you might not be able to see the detail. But I did move it up enough so people could see listings and offers. So one of the things that the new people can understand is there's a market, right? People want to buy and sell. People are selling and people are buying. And you can see that even Jams has you've got a listing going, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've just had it up for a while because my whole plan with the Raz was to try to turn it into liquidity for me to get more HTH assets. So whether that was trying to win things in the Raz and gambling that way, but I came up with what I thought each pack was worth, the expected value, and I came up with like $1.50. So I'm not going to let them go for under right around 35. So I threw them up there because I can then just take that cash and buy BPX and get the HTH that I was looking for anyway. So yeah, I mean, none of them have sold. There's always been someone that puts a few underneath me. I'm not changing it. I don't even own as many as how many does it say that I have there for sale?
127.
Yeah, I'm down to like in the 70s, I think, from different deals I've made, and I haven't actually. I don't think I've sold a handful to people for BPX directly to them. I don't think I've sold a single one. I mean, I have them for sale on there, but I don't think anyone's bought them.
So, James, let me ask you this, because we know you've gone through the trouble of setting up MetaMask accounts and getting people so they can get the RAS and be part of it. I would say, which is, it just goes to show people in our community like Milvec and Chicago who are so excited to be part of the RAS. But that is by far probably the biggest leap you have to take in our community, because there's so much technical wrangling that takes place to do this. And so what's really hard is, for those of us who got involved with the RAS early on, we had to learn this whole technical system, because part of the fun of the RAS is buying and selling, because you might want to, as soon as the RAS are revealed, there might be a card you're going for, and you want to pick up RAS. Like James is saying, like they're worth about $1.50 each. So when it's 1 in 2048, when they're first revealed before the first elimination round, right, they're going to sell for about $2. And so you might say, I really want that Hank Aaron card. So you want to buy $10 worth. So it's going to be hard for the new folks, and you can reach out to us in the community, we'll help you, but it'll be hard for them to do that. I know I mean, what do you think, James? I think it's going to be kind of a rip and ride for the new folks, because it's going to be very hard to navigate buying and selling on OpenSea, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll see more trades than buying and selling necessarily. But I have a feeling that could change like later on in the RAS when when it gets down to a few more, newer people might fire with that. But yeah, I think there'll be some trading going on for sure. I don't see why everyone won't help each other consolidate.
In past RASs, has it been more? It's in the early rounds, it's more trading. Then towards the later rounds, it gets more into the buying and selling, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I think it'll be similar now, and I would certainly encourage the OGs that have the time. I'm not saying to make trades against your interest, but look to make trades with some of the newer guys. And fair
also,
trades, I'm not saying to bleed yourself dry, but just when people are looking for things, take a look. Can you help with that? It doesn't hurt yourself.
And all of the trading and everything, it all happens in the Discord. Like you trade through OpenSea, but all the discussion and the deal making happens in the Discord.
So you bring up you bring up a good point, Tex, but we just need to clarify that for our people. And this is so you brought it up, Tex, but let's get in the weeds for 1 second. So when you send assets, when he talks about trading these RAS back and forth, this is going to be a system where it's you have to have trust. And so one of the things you have to be careful about is we have a really good community, and the scammers are always trying to come into our Discord. Their biggest thing, and the one thing you have to be used, if you're not used to Discord, people will create a Discord profile that looks exactly like BJams, and there's just a little something off about maybe the E's, like some kind of Greek E, and so you won't notice it. And so you want to make sure, like Chicago mentioned, he's had discussions with jams. You want to make sure that history of discussion is there to make sure you're talking about the right jams. But when you trade, like Tex is talking about, is that this requires what'll happen is you have to go into your MetaMask account. You have to send it through OpenSea. Like if you're trading it to jams, you're going to send it to him, and it's going to cost you very little in Matic gas. Which, Jams, is Infinite giving these guys some Matic, or are you giving them Matic so they're okay?
I mean, I haven't, but I will if he didn't.
Yeah. All right. So
I'll take some Matic if you're handing it out.
So, no, and the one thing to know for the new people, the first time that you want to transfer or list an item for sale is that you need to have something called Matic in order for you to buy. So, but again, this is, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Just know when you're ready in the RAS to make a move, whether it's to transfer or to buy, you need something called Matic. We'll help you with that. But the other point that Tex brought up is the trading. Is just reach out to Jams and ask, hey, this guy Tex Hooper wants to trade with me. Is he okay? And so check with Jams or the people you know and ask if they're okay people, because it doesn't happen often, but there are a few people in our community who just join. They're scammers. They get outed, and then we kick them out.
I was just gonna say, fortunately, the scammers that have been able to get in, they've been dealt with very quickly in most cases and thrown out. So they, as to my knowledge, I don't think they've ever really caused too much of a problem in recent time. I mean, maybe in the very beginning it was more of an issue, but the community is great at weeding out those people very quickly.
Chicago has a question. Did you have a question for James, Chicago?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that the answer to your question is yes. They did against my pushback give us some gas in our account. I immediately wanted to know why there was credit in my account when I haven't done anything, and that was for the initial trade. So thank you for that. And I just finished setting up my account with Jamps and Infinite 20 minutes before this meeting, so it's not that hard a process. But as a beginner, you definitely should walk along with somebody like Infinite and Jamps so that they can help you do it the right way, because they sent out a few disclaimers to me to like stop in place. You could be giving your entire financial future away, which of course I immediately stepped back and I said, whoa. So, and I waited, and then the experts walked me step by step, and it actually didn't take that long. I still have to learn it, but I'm at least in there and I'm ready to go. Thanks.
In Chicago, just one more thing. And for all the new people, when dealing with like OpenSea and stuff, always double check yourself. Like, no matter, if you feel that something is the least bit off, go to Jamps, go to somebody in the community, double check that you're doing the right thing, because the slightest, mistake can sometimes be very harmful.
Yeah, and that's a great point. When you're dealing in the Blokpax marketplace with Home Team Heroes, and they're going to be bringing other products into their marketplace, but with the Home Team Heroes, we never have to worry about that, right? You just click it, and
right. I'm speaking only about the outside of the community.
No.
Like when you have to deal with OpenSea.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying for the new people.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying and this isn't for them. This is meant for the people watching recording, and like, how lucky are we to have the Blokpax marketplace? Because whether Chicago, you're new, or it's Jamps, Tex, and I, is that we all have to be vigilant on OpenSea. And what's been great about Blokpax is like when we're buying and selling and trading in there is like, I don't think twice about it. Click, click, click. And it's just, you're not worried about, is this link coming up because of, that's a longer story. All right. Well, Jamps, I feel like you and I, Jamps and I do the BPX After Dark on Thursday nights, and Jamps has had a change of heart. We used to do it for 4 or 5 hours. I'm not kidding. 4 or 5 hours on Thursday nights. He doesn't want to do it that long anymore. But Jamps, I think we definitely covered RAS. Is there anything else before we ask for questions that you can think of for the RAS?
No, definitely want to hear though if there's any questions for sure.
Chicago, any final questions? Or Chris? Or Jason?
I just have one question. So as the days go on and it divides in half, and gets down to, if multiple people hold tokens at the end, is it a fractional value of the card, or how does that work?
No. If you get down to the last round and it's me and you, and we can't work out a deal, meaning I won't sell it to you, you won't sell it to me, we won't come to an agreement, it's a coin flip for that card, and it happens. It happens a lot.
So if we both have coins on the Honus Wagner, and we can't agree, it literally is a coin flip. Oh, okay.
And we have coin flipped for cards in the 5-figure range. Many a good amount of times, I will say. But like if you're trying to chase a card, like and you're like trying to consolidate and you keep going after it, a lot of times you're able to lock it up, before that final round. That's always my goal. No, I don't want to have to coin flip someone for an expensive card. I'll try to work something out if I get to that stage, to be honest. But you know, the other person may or may not be receptive to it.
And everybody has their own strategy, Chicago. But I will say this is that me and a couple partners, we play the Raz, and one of the things that I always approach it is that when we get down to a final round, we've done it a couple times. I never want it to go to a final snap. To me, that's just money on the table, and it's not because I'm nervous. It's stupid. I mean, two people can come out ahead, and so the only thing I do is whatever offer we give the other person, I say we have to be prepared to take it, because too often what'll happen is if it's a $6,000 card, somebody will be like, "I'll give you $1,000 for yours." Hey, it's a guaranteed 1,000. But then the question would be will you take 1,000? Well, no, I won't take 1,000. It's like, why would you offer me 1,000? So my whole thing is on a $6,000 card, if somebody offered you, your share is worth 3,000, right? So if somebody offered you 2,500, there's a chance if you flip a coin, and some people just wanted the gen. But and you're gonna find your own strategy. Obviously, I'm not telling you that, and like I'm sure James is bristling because he's a pro and he's been doing it forever. But there's so many. You'll find there are people you enjoy negotiating with, you enjoy trading with, and there are other people you do not. And then,
you make your lists. You make your two lists of people real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, obviously, our community, is great. But when you start getting into trades with people, you'll definitely see people that are more difficult to deal with than others.
Right. It's nothing nefarious. It's just
no.
The competition.
No, I
tends
know.
Like sometimes you're trading with someone and you have that feeling that they have to have a feeling that they won the trade, and that can be a little frustrating. Because for me, like there should be a way for both people to match up expected values, pretty evenly, and you both get what you want, But there's always some people that like to feel like they won something.
And then there are people like Stefan in our community. He's a ride or die guy, which is there are some people in the community, they're never going to trade just because they believe whatever I have, I'll go till the end or it gets snapped out. So, and you'll never get it from their dead cold hands.
And he has, he's won an impressive amount with just never ever like stacking anything, just buying his buy in and just letting it ride, and he's had pretty incredible results, I will say.
Yeah, and he's not even that big of a whale in the Raz too. He's that great.
No, his return on his purchases has got to be one of the best for the Razes out of like anyone, I have to imagine.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so it sounds like Jason mentioned all the auctions are at, and for people who are watching live, the Radish auctions for the football case break is that it's over. I'll be sending out notes after this, so you'll all be getting that tonight. Thank you very much for those who bid. I appreciate everybody who did it. But Jason, did you have any questions? Chris, I'll see if you want to raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll let the Raz go and with Jamps here. And I think Jordan might be back. Is that Jordan got booted off, but I think he's back. Is that we'll just go on, and I think we can hit and Jamps. We're gonna touch them ever so briefly, but I do have to mention Bantams, Barefoot Breeze, the Reward Store, Lost Miners, and Wonders. We're gonna do it.
You're a lunatic. You're a lunatic.
You're gonna be here. Chris said he's all good. All right. So the Reward Store. So Tex, real quick, you got the link.
Yes.
You can share the screen.
I do, yes.
And James, thank you so much for that, Raz. And for folks who don't know, B James in the Radish and the Blokpax Discord. Any Raz questions you have, go to him. We can't thank James enough for being here tonight, and also for what he has been doing by giving Raz packs to the new people. All right, take it away, Tex, on the Reward Store.
Excuse me. Okay, so if you go to Blokpax.com, this brings you here. And you can buy football, you can buy baseball still. These links here will get you into the marketplace for trading for the color pops or the base sets. And then we have the Reward Store, which is a brand new thing. It's only been open 3 weeks, maybe a month. If you click on here, you can come into here, and all of these cards or boxes or sealed cases, video games, there'll be some comic books in here eventually. All these are for sale to you for BPX. And it's basically that simple. If you
Or-
want,
Or a credit card, right, Tex?
yes, or credit card. So if you want this card, you can click on it. You can look at it. You can go out on the web. You can go to alt, check comps on it.
Hey, and before you leave,
yeah.
Tex, is that the seller says Big Dob. So can you explain this? Are these Blokpax cards that they are selling? Or is it just
I believe at this point, these are just Blokpax cards.
All right,
But
well,
I know in the future, we will be able to submit our own cards.
The seller right there is Big Dob. So the question I teed up for you is no. Remember we talked about our
Big Dob. Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That was
Remember we talked
Dob's
about.
card.
In fact, you and I bought Beyonce, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and that was T-Sages. So we know that's not the case.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they had started that.
Right.
I'm just used to seeing BPX rewards on there.
And in your defense, Tex, is that the reason why I was so grateful to Jordan talking about the set building is people have to understand they're changing everything so much every day in a good way.
Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
all the time.
You know what's going on, but things. Okay, so reward room 3.
Yeah, so this is what I was referring to.
Yep.
These are cards that are held by Blokpax themselves, or in this case, a box of cards.
Okay.
But anyway, so go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tex.
I was just gonna say, so you can see the 102.56 would be the credit card price. The 2,650 would be the BPX price. You can convert. I think BPX is at 0.023 in American dollars right now, so you can do the conversion to see what the monetary value is.
And that's
the credit card will. Go ahead.
$60.95.
$60. Okay. So the credit card is obviously higher. You'll pay more for a credit card, but if you go back and watch the video where I interviewed Frenchie, he explains the mechanics behind the credit card and the fee and why the credit card is a bit higher than what the BPX cash equivalent would be. Also, these cards, and they've done this on purpose, these cards and boxes and cases tend to run at or slightly above comps, just because they want people to use their BPX rewards for physical cards and such, but they don't want it to be an arbitrage situation either, where somebody is just coming in here, buying up a bunch of stuff and then flipping it on eBay, or claiming it and then taking it to their local card shop and selling it.
But with that said, Tex, some
Mhm.
people are doing that. In fact, you pointed out cards you can do that with, right?
Yeah, if you have the time, you can go through here and you can, do the math to check the value, check the cash equivalent, go to alt, go to eBay,
All right,
see what these cards are selling for, and
so Tex, Chicago has a question, but the last question I'll ask you is I see these cards in here. Are these the cards that were put in here, 3 weeks ago, or how often do they release new cards?
There isn't a set schedule, but I know they I think it was 2 days ago, they added probably 30 different cards and like sealed cases to this. Before that, it probably been a couple weeks, I think, since they added anything. But I think the plan is to also start adding to this more regularly, where it'll be updated on a more regular basis with new cards and everything.
All right, and I want if James can speak to the difference between, because I think it was Chicago brought up a great point, when for new people they see BPX and they think the rewards.
Mhm.
For those of us who are in there, when we see BPX, we think the token, which we use to buy things, which we can go to Uniswap and buy BPX. So I'm going to ask James to ask the difference between BPX, the reward, and BPX, the token we use to buy things, which is the same, but there's some more complications to it. But Chicago, you had a question.
Chicago, I think you're still muted.
Yeah. So you answered one of my questions. One of my questions was who sets the prices, because obviously I'm a physical card collector, and I know comps off of 70% of these cards immediately, and some of them seem to be pretty high. The second question was, now I have three questions. The second question was, how often are the drops? Which you kind of got to that. It's kind of arbitrary, and whenever who does the drops get to it, I suppose. But the most important thing that I learned in the last couple of days was the differentiation between the monetary dollar versus the BP. So once I did the BP conversion at the 0.023 BPX and worked them out, the cards are actually very close to comps, but the cash value was the one I was looking at as a hard card collector, saying, wow, this is really high. But once I did the conversion off the BPX, which I'll have to acquire, I guess, on OpenSea or in somewhere in that crypto universe, which I'll have to figure out from somebody. But they were actually really respectable in terms of the comps, that because I just know what they are, because I've been in the industry over 35 years. So I mean, thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Tex, one thing I just want to add is that Chicago, in terms of wanting you to pay with BPX instead of credit card here, Blokpax is a business, and they've been great to us. They've given more to the community than we've given to them. They're not making millions. Let me tell you that. They've been very generous with their community. But you can see why they want you to use BPX instead of a credit card, right? They want you to go out and collect home team heroes, which is fun, which is cool, which you can set build. And so the more you complete your rainbows and collections and sets, then you get more BPX reward. And you never have to worry about crypto or wallets and all that. You're going to go ahead and get your BPX reward. Then you're going to come back and spend it here. They're not putting the BPX differential with the credit card, so you go to Uniswap. They're doing it so that you'll become a loyal customer of theirs, gaining all this BPX that you can then use here. So it's right. They're trying to keep you in their ecosystem and spend.
Yeah.
So, and it's completely understand. That's fair. That's what they're trying to do, and I'm okay with that. Sorry, Tex.
Oh no, go ahead. And also for Chicago, I just wanted to make it clear too that so if you were to buy one of these cards using BPX or a credit card, it would be transferred into your BPX account with all your home team heroes and all that stuff. And then since they are physical cards, you could then request, if you wanted to have the physical card sent to you. So you could have it actually in your possession to put in your collection. Or it could just, like I said, it could just stay as the tokenized card in your wallet.
And Tex, is there any charge? Anywhere you want to?
There is no charge for any of that.
So storing it, shipping it to you, no charge.
No charge.
And it's all insured until it comes to you for the full replacement value.
Correct. Yes.
They had to have one claim filed so far out of a lot of cards.
Oh,
but anyone that's been that's had things shipped for years and years, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. No matter, I don't care how much you bomb-proof something. Sometimes they're just there's no way it's going to survive.
Yeah, and that would be poor Zarek, who donated a Raz pack to the new people who doubled up Jamps. That would be Zarek, who's donating to you. As it happened to him.
That's right.
So and James, we'll go to you just so people can understand, because I know Chicago said something that made me think we need to make it clear between BPX reward and BPX token. We saw it as a reward originally, and now we see it as the token or the currency. But Tex, any final thoughts before we go? Of course, you want to show the Jets quarterback for a reason.
Yeah. He could be back in 2 weeks after the bye. He was throwing a football warm-ups before the game today, so he's looking pretty good. So maybe we can get him back. And right. I might have to sell a couple things. I might have to pick this bad boy up.
All right. So James, can you explain? Because when we talk about BPX, to the new people, they just think they have a 5. They're thinking, okay, I want to earn BPX reward, and what is BPX? What's the difference between, or is it similar? The reward, what's listed? What is BPX?
I mean, BPX is BPX, but it doesn't matter if it's a reward or a token. It's all the same thing.
And James, to set it up, I know what it is. Chicago said, so you can, when somebody said you need to buy BPX so you can get these cheaper prices in the reward store, his response was, so I can buy BPX reward. So do you see that? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you actually can't buy BPX reward. You can't actually even buy BPX technically. I mean, it'll sound like semantics, but you have to swap a different currency for the BPX. You're not actually purchasing it. I mean, you're swapping. I mean, I know that sounds like splitting hairs, but that's how it works. BPX is a reward token. It has to be. It's very important that it's not a security. The fact that it's given away for free based on rewards. That's why you'll always hear it referred to as a reward token. That being said, if people want this reward token, they are able to swap their money or their ETH for more to be able to utilize the BPX in the ecosystem as they see fit. But at the end of the day, it is a reward token, whether you've earned it or you've decided to acquire more by swapping your money for it. At the end of the day, it is a reward token.
All right. So I think that was succinct. While Tex is making his comment, just raise your hand if anybody has any clarification they require on that. Otherwise, we'll let Tex have the last word and move on. Go ahead, Tex.
I was just going to say that I think the plan is eventually that they want everything to run on either a credit card or BPX, and I think we're basically there at that point. Outside of the RAS, but they want everything to run through, the marketplace and their webpage. There'll be no OpenSea eventually, and all that. We're moving closer to that every day, I believe.
Awesome. All right. Next one we're gonna do, and I'm gonna let James do a quick Bantam Brigade and give me the elevator.
No. Jamps is not doing a Bantam Brigade anything. I haven't thought about Bantam Brigades in 6 months, probably.
Okay. So the one thing is, like, would you say it's equivalent to Pokemon? Probably the best thing. You can see the artwork. You guys can see the artwork I'm sharing, right?
Sure.
Okay. So the biggest thing to say is that it's kind of again, this is stuff. If you're a Pokemon person in real life, you'll want to dive deep into this. This is the disclaimer. Let me say it again. For new people to Blokpax who are just getting comfortable with Home Team Hero, do not watch this if you're just getting comfortable. This is only this broadcast. Do not watch this. This is only for new people who want to scratch the surface to know which direction they should go next. So we're just giving you the basic information, and you can go look further. Bantam Brigades, it's kind of like their Pokemon. I don't want to discredit Bantam Brigade and Kisher and all the great work that he's done there, because it's so much more than Pokemon to me. But people can relate hearing that. Biggest thing is there is James. Just tell them about the physical game at the very least. Because we have a physical game, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool game too. I mean, I was able to explain it and start playing with my 6-year-old son within like 2 minutes. It's a deck. How many cards are there? 20. I think there's 26 characters. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It's easy to learn. And then they're going to be making it, I guess.
I just gotta grab something.
More difficult in the future.
Because I was doing a show.
Text.
And the jet phone. Oh, am I not muted?
You got the hot mic.
He's muted now as the host. And so one of the things that they're going to do, right, is that they've sent out to existing members of the community. They're sending out the deck of cards, and the mats will be sent out too. But you'll have a chance. They're going to have some original sets that you're going to be able to buy, and that's coming soon. So anything else we should just say about that?
Oh, I guess you could, because another sore subject, but you could talk about the in-person tournament that they had at National.
So right now, while I just mentioned
you enjoyed that, didn't you?
in-person tournament, you can see right now this collection is only available on OpenSea, kind of like the RAS. This is Jeff at Blokpax has said he wants to bring the collections back to the Blokpax marketplace. I assume this collection will be coming back there, so you will be able to buy and sell there. Now, this is a bigger thing, and we're not going to get in the weeds, but what Blokpax hopes to become is that for somebody who never wants to do Web3 and wants to own their home team hero or their Bantams, you can either just be in the Blokpax marketplace, or if you want, you can take that, you can bring it into your MetaMask account, and then you control it, and it's gone from Blokpax and you have it. And at the National Card Show in Chicago, I met a new person who had a great analogy. They said it's kind of like taking your cards and putting it in a shoebox in your closet. And then exactly right. When you take these assets and bring them into self-custody, you can put them into a hard drive that you put in your closet, and they're yours. Blokpax doesn't control them anymore. That's getting way in the weeds. But the biggest thing for you new folks, these Bantams, they are most likely coming into the Blokpax marketplace. So you will begin to be able to buy and sell those in the Blokpax marketplace. And what James is talking about is Blokpax goes to the National Card Show every year. And I believe at Chicago said I was like, did you stop by the Blokpax booth? And he's like, it looked like Pokemon to me. And it's funny because they were definitely noticeable when they were there. But one of the things they do every year is a geek dinner. And it's a dinner for certain members of the community. And they had a Bantam tournament where they put the mats out and they had the decks of cards. And we all this is the first time any of us saw the decks of cards, ever saw the mats, ever played the game. They had only played the game at the headquarters of Blokpax. So we got a chance to play, and it was exciting. And I'll tell you, I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I originally wasn't going to play this tournament. And then when I was there, Jeff was like, hey, are you playing? And I was like, well, if the owner's asking if I'm playing, I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking playing. I wasn't going to have a good time. And then I'm pissed that I didn't win. And I took it back to my family, and my kids love it. So anyway, that's Bantam. Jams, and Tex, now that you're off the hot mic, Jams, Jordan, or Tex, do you guys have anything to add to Bantam?
Yeah, I'll just say the one thing is you can actually build sets and rainbows with Bantams also, and those are going to earn points towards BPX allocation also. But I would say that if I wouldn't be buying it for that reason, your money would get you more BPX by buying home team heroes than it would Bantams. Bantams is not going to earn you as much, but it is something to know that that is another part of that silo.
Yeah, that's a really good point that I left out. Great point, James. Tex, anything you want to add about Bantams?
No, just I had never played a Pokemon or Magic or anything like that. And Bantams was the first game I ever played like that at the Geek Dinner at the National, and it was awesome. It was a ton of fun, and I'm excited for when it finally gets released to be able to play it with my kids and buy the physical boxes and stuff. It should be pretty fun. Maybe do a little collecting that way too.
Yeah, you know what? You run a bar and restaurant. You should run a tournament. I mean, have a weekly tournament.
We could.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Do I have to really point this out? All right. Does anybody?
Well, it's not even out yet. I gotta wait till it comes out.
Chris, Jason, or Chicago? Anybody want to raise their hand? Any questions about Bantams? Otherwise, we're going to move on here to Barefoot.
How do we buy a set pre-launch? Joking.
So there was talk
of the physical cards.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Jordan's showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you drop a message to maybe Caroline, or maybe not Infinite, but James, maybe they might be able to hook you up with a deck. I believe they still have some decks left, and I know they were sending them out to people that weren't able to be at the National to get one there.
All right, so, and Jordan was kind enough to show his deck, but since Jordan wasn't talking, of course it won't show up in the recording. So we'll go ahead. But this is the deck. So Jordan, thank you for bringing that up, and I brought that. Tex, great point about contacting the Blokpax team, putting another task on them that we are not responsible for. That'll make him happy. But yes, Chicago. There's a number of people. James, Jordan, I'm going to keep a set sealed as soon as I get it, the initial set.
I screwed up. I screwed
Why?
up.
Oh, because you opened it?
Because I thought you needed each person had a pack.
Yeah.
So I opened both of them, and I'm like, no. I just unsealed this. Unreal.
My pack that I have is the very first pack that Frenchie brought out into the public
That's pretty
at
cool.
the National. And I beat him 2 games in a row, having never touched it.
James, are you going to keep one sealed though when you get it?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So Chicago, again, something. It sounds like you're interested. You have no you don't have any specific instructions. We're going to move on to the next thing, which is real quick. Barefoot Breeze, which is the Barefoot Republic. It's kind of this Jimmy Buffett margarita. It's evolved so much since Blokpax started. Right now on the screen, you're seeing the collection, which is the parrots. And if you look at these, or the pirates, excuse me. So you can look at this, that the total collection is, there's 500 of these. Just to give you a sense, guys, of for newer people, the type of collectors you are coming into, the community of collectors you are joining, there's 500 of these pirates. The total number for sale is 4. There's 4 of them for sale right now. So that's all you can buy. And so what do these things get you? It's like, that's a longer conversation, but there's certain benefits that you can get. And I'm going to show you in 1 second, the Barefoot Breeze, the companion collection to the pirates are the parrots. Pirates are very limited. The parrots, there's 2,500 of them. And so they're cheaper. They don't have as much benefit. We showed you the Bantam collection before. We were given these valuable bantams based on the parrots and pirates we held. So we ended up benefiting just from holding these different things. So you want to know real world stuff, because most folks who are joining Blokpax, they're real world people. If you go to barefootbreeze.com, you can see, the video I'm showing you all this great stuff. So right now on my hat, you can see I'm wearing the hat. That's me in that photo shoot with my girlfriend. And we're doing a photo shoot about Barefoot Breeze, which they have shirts, they have sun protected shirts, they have hats. I know Jamps ordered a ton of this stuff, but we could get insanely cheap prices on all this Barefoot Breeze apparel based on how many parrots and pirates you held. So they gave us the digital collectibles, right? That's based on the parrots and pirates we held. This apparel that you see, we could get that based on the parrots we had. That's based on parrots, not pirates. So there's a lot going on there. So anyway, fascinating collection. If you're a Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville type person, we haven't even talked about barefoot passes and other stuff. It actually goes much, much deeper. Tex, anything you want to add to that other than you don't own a pirate, which is the only thing you don't own in the BPX ecosystem?
Right. And if anyone is looking to sell a pirate, I am in the market.
Yeah, there's 4 people selling it. Just buy it. All right.
I know. Well, I might have to reach out to somebody here, because that was around my price range too, that I was looking to spend.
All right. So James, anything you want to add about parrots or pirates or Barefoot Breeze?
No, I don't think so. I mean, see if anyone has questions about it.
Yeah, I will say that right now the cheapest one, Tex, is $622. So, dude, it might hit $575, but you'll be lucky. All right, Jordan, anything you want to add about the Barefoot Breeze or the Republic?
No.
Okay.
I don't own one yet.
Yeah.
I can say the clothing is awesome. I finally did buy some clothing, and I got it a week or so ago, and it's fantastic clothing.
It's unbelievable, and I don't know if it just speaks to that I don't buy myself quality clothing in the past, but the difference between this and all my other clothes is so noticeable. I mean, that's why I bought so many. Well, I mean, I have a bunch of parrots, and when Slappy said that you get a big discount, I mean, I think it's like 80-something%. So, I mean, if you look at the prices on there, like, they're high. It's high end. But I don't know. Were you guys?
I believe I got.
Quality?
I was very much so. Yeah, it's very high end athleisure wear.
Once I got the first order, I went back and ordered so many. I mean, that's honestly, if I'm not working, that's typically what I have on. If it's, I mean, the only reason I don't have one on right now is because I'm wearing a football jersey. But outside of that and work, it's the only shirts I
Do you
really
have your
wear
Do you have
anymore.
your Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs jersey on?
I actually have a Ronnie Lott jersey on.
Oh, Ronnie Lott, former New York Jet.
All right. Well, I will say about the high end comment, James, is that when I saw the retail price, I thought, oh, it's a little bit high, but like you, I don't shop that much. And then I started looking like in the picture I'm sharing where the woman's in the pink, that is a sun protected long sleeve shirt. And that actually, when I looked at it, I was surprised. I was like, oh, that's what every one of these is going for. So when we say it's high end, but it's right in line with all the other high end at regular retail price. So when you get this 80% discount or whatever, it's obscene. I mean, you're getting what you see in the stores for a fraction of what the cost is just from owning a freaking parrot. So, and Chris is asking what's the link, and it's barefootbreeze.com. So I'll put that in the link. Well, and the only other thing, and then Tex, I'll go to you, is that I do want to say that they, in addition, well, here, go, Tex. What was your question before you forget?
I was just gonna say I bought 8 items using the discount. It cost me a little over $130 for 8 items.
Yeah. Wow.
So, which is an incredible deal.
And just so because James was, so one of the things we've tried to do is that Radish Digital was at the National Card Show, so generous of Blokpax to give us some space. We were there with them. We've done different events. And so I'm somebody with my background. I've worked corporate. I've worked in the political world. I've done so many convention shows, and there's so much meaningless swag. I hate tchotchkes that are, you just hate. You bring home, give to your little kids because you don't want it. So I'm like, if we're going to have something, I want something people want. And along those lines, I was like, you know what I love? I love Barefoot Breeze. So I actually reached out to them about who their manufacturer is. So Radish Digital is coming out with some Radish Digital shirts, and they will be emblazoned on Barefoot Breeze apparel.
Nice.
I can't wait for
That's
mine.
exciting.
Yeah. Of course, you and James, 2 of our hosts, will be having it. All right. So moving on to the next one is that we're going to actually, the last 3 things we're going to hit. We're going to close with geeks because for the new people who have the disposable income, one thing that's hard, right, is we never want to tell people to buy a Legend because we don't know people's financial situation. But we need to make it clear when we end what the backbone of the ecosystem is and just close with the geeks. So this disclaimer, I just want to share. If you are new to Blokpax, new to Home Team Heroes, and you're just getting comfortable, stop watching this. This is only for the new people who say, I love what I'm seeing. I'm in the Discord. I'm chatting. I'm seeing all these things and these links and these references. I want to know more. We are trying to cover everything just a little bit so folks can say, that's the rabbit hole I want to go down. That's what it's for. We're not going to give you all the detail here. We just want to give you enough so you can figure out what is the best course for you. So the next thing we have to talk about is going to be about lost miners. And so, James, I'm going to turn it over to you for the quick one, but what I'm showing folks first, there is actually there's a white paper which explains everything about the lost miners and explains what we're talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and, James, I'll let you explain the story. I'm going to put a bunch of links about lost miners so people can look at it on their own. But what are the lost miners, James?
Sure. I mean, I'm not the best to talk to it in a technical sense, but there was something called the merge in Ethereum. Before the merge, when Ethereum was being mined, it was, I guess it was using a ton of energy. So it wasn't looked at as sustainable or good for the environment. The way that they were doing it was called proof of work. At the merge, it ended up switching over to proof of stake. Doesn't matter what that means. It's now more environmentally friendly. But there was going to be a last collection that was created right before the merge happened, and then a first collection obviously is going to get created once the merge happened. And there was no set time. Like, there was no way to know exactly when the merge was going to happen. They basically had to calculate it. And the analogy that was used was like you're driving down the highway, leaning out the window with a dart, and you're trying to hit a dartboard. The engineers worked on it, tirelessly, and they ended up actually nail. They were going to try for the last one and the first one, hoping that they got lucky on one of them, and they actually ended up landing both of them. So the Lost Miners is the last collection of proof of work, and the miners is I guess it's a homage to the ETH miners, because before the merge happened, there were people that were quote unquote mining the Ethereum. So the lost miners, they're lost because there's nothing for them to mine anymore. They hired an award-winning artist. His most of his awards, I believe, are in bronze sculpting. Charles Pate, to design these pixelated miners. So the pixels, it's 24 by 24. Similar, like, I don't know. I mean, I know you guys aren't, the people that are new to this don't have a background necessarily in Web3. But if you have heard of anything in Web3, it'd probably be the punks. So if you've seen them, those are pixelated like this. So much work went into the appearance of these things. The community actually was able to help out a lot. They loaded, I believe it was 40,000 examples into a rating tool where basically you gave it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. And I mean, the community just went through hundreds of thousands of voting until they were able to really curate the best 10,000 for them. So the Lost Miners, they just exist. Like, they don't technically have any utilities. They're an art piece. They're a collectible because they're always going to be the last one. I don't know, Slappy, what else?
Well, first of all, I'm going to stop you there because I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And I even stopped Caroline and everybody else who says it from the Blokpax team. It is the most utilitarian, non-utility asset ever, which is you actually got season 1 BPX reward points for holding it. So that provided utility. And the Wonders of the First, which we're just going to touch on, they get you credit towards the Wonders of the First, is that, yes, is like the long-term range is there's no utility to it. And it's only about collectability. But there has been utility but the
caveat is those utilities were announced prior to the miners being distributed. So no further utility will be announced for the miners.
Are you sure? Because why would they hire a dev to create a website for what? Lost Miners? What was it? There's 3 of them, I think. They hired a dev recently. You guys not see that on Twitter?
Yeah, we did.
So if there's no utility, why hire someone to make a website?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to go down your rabbit hole. Is that
sorry?
I'm with Jams. Is like I'm only teasing because what's even crazy is the projects where Blokpax tells us you're not going to get anything else out of this. We still get a tremendous out of it. But the important thing to know about these Lost Miners is that you don't have to look at. Let's be honest, folks, 95% of the NFT projects are dead. And it's not a bear market. They're not coming back. Is that Jeff French, the owner of Blokpax, he's the first person. He would have told you 99% of these projects need to die. They're not good. They're just scamming. They're trying to get people's money. There's really nothing behind it. They're not building anything. There's no value. So we're at 95%. So the good news is we've gotten rid of most of them, but we still have a ways to go. But what people don't understand is the blockchain technology itself. And that's what you'll find in the Blokpax community. We're not here to make a quick buck. We're not here to just sell our whatever we have to the next person who's willing to pay more. That's not what this community is about. This is a community, which, by the way, Jams, I'd love to hear it, is that Frenchie mentioned that in I think one of the Facebook ads, a community built by collectors for collectors. And that's one of our intro exits out of our shows. And it just, when I said that and wrote that in the script, I was like, that is the perfect description of Blokpax. Built by collectors for collectors. And Jeff French, the owner, is a massive collector. He can't help himself. In fact, the biggest physical pain he feels these days is holding himself back from buying the home team heroes, from buying the Bantams, he just bought a ton of Lost Miners because he can't control himself. He wants to collect. So you're getting into a community with somebody who's a collector like you. And so these Lost Miners, this is anybody who understands what happened with Ethereum And what launched the blockchain, really? The first wave of the blockchain. This will be a tribute to that. So if you are a collector and if you think the blockchain is going to stick around, this is the collector. This is the Honest Wagner card that you want. This is it. Like this and the Wonders of the First. So the Jams, you did a great job. And so to dovetail it into Wonders of the First is that, of course, if our new collectors, and again, we don't know people's financial situation, but if you have disposable income, do not spend money you don't have. But if you do have disposable income and you can pick up 2 miners, what does that get them?
That's going to get them one allocation for Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is the first collection after the merge that I alluded to before. So it's going to look entirely different than the Lost Miners, basically in every way, shape, or form. I don't know, Slappy, if you have a way of showing one of those previews.
Yep. Let's see. I do, and
but yeah,
okay.
For every 2 miners that you hold, you're going to get 1 Wonders. Let's see.
It looks like they have the video up at YouTube. So hold on 1 second. Okay, so go ahead and so James, on the screen, can you see the origin world? I don't think that's 0, right? That's 1 through 6, which we're looking at. Oh no, that's the first.
Yeah, no, that's token 0.
Okay, okay, so James, explain. This is so again what you were talking about. They completed a contract, and then they minted 10,000 NFTs for the last contract on proof of work, and then they did a contract and minted 10,000 all at the same time for proof of stake. So this token 0, the artwork you're seeing on the screen right now, that's the first digital asset ever created on the proof of stake Ethereum chain, which all work is done now for ERC20. We won't get into the weeds, but basically when you think blockchain Web3, everything that's happening is happening on the proof of stake. And this is the first thing ever created on proof of stake from this little tiny company you just found.
And I'll tell you what, whoever hits that token 0 is going to be very, very lucky, because we don't, the free market obviously is going to determine value, but it's certainly going to be a multiple 5-figure card at right from day one in my eyes.
Oh. Now that card is the back of the actual real cards themselves eventually, right? So people know that, like that's the back of the
without
card.
the animation though.
Yeah. That's
only token 0 though will have the animation.
Yeah,
correct. But yeah, as you can see, this obviously looks nothing like the Lost Miners collection. It's basically the polar opposite.
Well, and
I think that
go ahead.
That 5-figure number too may be a bit conservative too as to what that 0 token could be worth, especially 6 months, a year from now.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think though right away it sells. I mean, it's not going to sell for 10 grand. It'll be considerably more than that. But it depends who hits it. I mean, if the person that hits it isn't super active in the community or anything, they might just pounce it.
Yes, that's
something on right away.
Oh, you have to have your ETH ready to buy that, because yes. Did anyone have any questions about Wonders of the First? Any of the new folks? And I will say that, like, for the existing community, this is where I think we probably have the biggest split between people who've been in the community for a long time and new people, is that I think it's really hard to wrap your head around this. At the end of the day, it's a digital collectible. This is going to be different though, Jams. Is like, I'll be honest, I don't fully understand this universe they're creating and the game they're playing, but this is not going to be like what Lost Miners. This will have utility. They're creating a world. They're creating a game we don't fully understand and hasn't been revealed to us. So there will be, I mean, I guess the best way to explain it is they said, if you could go back and have the original Charizard card to Pokemon, the one from which all the artwork and the gameplay came from, if you could have the original Charizard card, what would that be worth? So they're looking at this and saying these Wonders of the First Token, they're creating some kind of game where.
Well, for Wonder Slappy,
What's that?
I think we should. I think we should be talking more about Magic when we're talking about
Yes.
Wonders. Pokemon,
Yeah.
I think, is more for Bantams. But yeah, I'm not a Magic guy. Like, I don't know about the gameplay and everything like that. But everything that I've been told, I think it's going to be a lot more like that than Pokemon.
Magic of the Gathering.
Yeah.
And what I don't know if BJ touched on this, but each one of those 10,000 is an individual piece of artwork. They're all one of ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these aren't like serial numbered.
Right.
They're all gonna be unique.
Whatever you get, you will be the only person to hold that one.
So like that's the thing when you're buying 2 Lost Miners right now, you're collecting those hopefully for the collectability of those alone. But for every 2 you get, you are gonna get one of these. And most of them are going to be selling for whatever the floor ends up shaking out to be. But you also have that chance to hit some of these that are going to be super valuable right away.
All right. We'll see. And I'll pause. If there are any questions, raise your hand, or just you can start speaking, anybody in the audience. But real quick, I'm going to show you 3 things. We're not going to take questions. I'm not going to go to the other speakers, but I'm just going to show you quick. Ledger of Things. This is actually something. You can see it later, but Ledger of Things, I lied. Jams, if you collect all pieces of the Ledger of Things, you end up getting that asset, right? If you can own all the fractional shares of this, you end up getting the physical card, right?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen, Sloppy.
Okay. All right. Let people find out on their own. All right. That's okay. All right. Next thing is
I can't believe you're going down this rabbit hole.
No. I'm not going to do sharks in crowd slabs. This is 2 seconds over. Crowd slabs. These are.
Nobody knows what sharks even are.
Is that crowd slabs? Jams. These are very expensive cards where you own a fractional share of it. And if you can get every fractional piece of it, you can have the card as well, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and it gets complicated too because there's a set auction price, and it gets even more complicated than that.
I won't lie. I ended up getting into talking about this today with Chicago, so I guess I'm almost as bad as you.
All right, and then the next one is collision art. Another thing you can look at. This is another piece of what Blokpax is doing. Again, I'm not doing this because I expect you to start doing this, understand this, but just to understand it, and to a certain extent, Jams, I think it's important to see this because if I was a physical card collector and I started buying digital assets, I partly would be worried and be like, well, what's going to stop? This isn't my local card shop. These people can close up overnight. They can disappear and I'm never going to see them again. And it's just this imaginary electronic stuff. And what people need to understand is not only have folks like us been involved for 2 years, but when you sit here and now we're going on 2 hours and we're about to wrap up, we're going to just do geeks, is that, and I will get to the last question about the Radish question regarding shatters, but we're about to wrap up. What people need to understand, the new folks, is that Home Team Heroes is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just you're touching the front of the elephant. This is a giant beast, and there's so much going on and has been going on for years. This is a good company that's strongly run by the best team anywhere, and you are getting involved with, like, if you like this, you will have many more opportunities. All right, on that note is that tell us about the geeks, what levels there are, Jams, and what they do.
Sure. There's 3 levels of geeks. The highest level is a legend, the middle level is a hero, and the lowest level is an all-star geek. Certain utilities are the same amongst all 3, but for most of them, obviously the legend is going to get the better benefits. So the thing that you guys would probably want to know the most about them for now is how it relates with Home Team Heroes. So you'll get pre-sale pricing on Home Team Heroes for each release, which is dramatically under what we all end up paying once it's released. I want to say it was around like $80 a box. I mean,
Yep.
So it's a dramatic discount that you get. And depending on which tier you have, you are able to buy. It gives you more allocation of that pre-sale pricing. What else?
Well, and it has, so James, when we're looking at the pre-sale pricing was one thing, and there was something different for football where we talked about holding BPX in your wallet as well as the hero you had. So in order to maximize your shatters, you needed to be, if you were at the legend tier and you held 100,000 BPX or more, you basically got one shatter for every 3 boxes you bought. It was
Something like that. Yeah.
I won't go down the rabbit hole. Just know that in order for us to get the maximum amount of shatters, you had to hold 100,000 BPX and you had to have a legend geek. You had those 2 things, you were golden. And that's why I know but Chris Keel said I'm looking to buy a geek if anyone has one. Chris, I'm not sure if you're on OpenSea or comfortable with it, but obviously we're showing you, and I'll drop that in there as well, the geek place on OpenSea where you can buy it. The other thing in the trading channels, you guys in the Blokpax Discord, go into the trading channels. I think that's miscellaneous. And yeah, Chris was said I was advised to ask the community first. I will say, Chris, the prices you see in OpenSea, they are not the true floor. And Jams, right? That's one of the hard things about Blokpax is there's 2 floors. There's the listing floor and the actual floor. And Chris, I have to tell you, I've never met a community that it defies economics, which is you don't have people beating down the door to buy geeks. There aren't. But conversely, you have a group of people like myself and Tex and Jams who will not let go of their geeks. We're not going to let go of it. I'm not. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a price, but it's a very high price. So it's this weird thing where you have a committed group of people who've taken up all the assets and will gladly take up any assets that come on the market cheap. All of us will scoop it up to add to what we have already. But then you don't have a ton of people beating it down. So new people like you, it's hard to find the right price. So yes, going into the Discord and Blokpax and looking at the miscellaneous trading channel, you want to go there to look for a geek. Did I miss anything, James?
No, but one other benefit of the geek as it relates to home team heroes is with the color pops. So I don't know if everyone's familiar with the color pops or not, but those are obviously what's going to earn the points from the players' actual production on the field. So those are the ones that are, the huge hits that the top ones are going to earn like 800, 900, over 1,000,000 points. So obviously those are going to be really sought after, but for each of those, you're able to get a multiplier from your geeks. So an all-star is able to multiply 1 color pop. A hero is able to multiply 2 color pops. A legend is able to multiply 5 color pops, and the multiplier is 25%. So if you have a color pop that earned exactly 1,000,000 points on the season, and you use geek to multiply it, you suddenly have 1.25 million. So it's obviously it will. If you plan on having color pops, you do really kind of want to try to, take advantage of those multipliers, because in the long run, obviously that's gonna pay off pretty nicely.
Yeah, that's a great for. I know Chicago. It sounds like he cares about points, so that's a really good point to talk about it. And I should say to Chris when he said to go to the community first, you will definitely get your best price there. But again, we don't know people's financial situation. So if somebody has the financial wherewithal to not dick over a price, you can just go to OpenSea and you can snag it up. You absolutely can get a better price in the community. Tex, I saw you chime in there first about saying go to the community first. Did you have anything else to add about geeks?
No, just that. I mean, you definitely, if you're going to be, in Blokpax, if you like it, you're going to be in, for the long haul, you think, definitely invest in at least an all-star geek, just to have and be able to take advantages of some of the perks. And again, yeah, always go to the community first, whether for, whatever you want to buy, if there's something you're trying to buy or even trade for. Or even if you wanted to try and, say you wanted a legend geek, but you don't have enough assets, but like Chicago, he collects physical cards, by talking to B Jamps or some of the other collectors, Zeddy, who owns a card shop, you may be able to work a deal for physical cards for a geek, for a
That's-
legend geek or a minor or whatever. But always go to the community first.
Jordan, any thoughts about Jordan? I know you have minors. I can't remember. Do you have geeks?
Sure do. I got one.
Okay. Yep. Anything you want to add about geeks, Jordan?
And it probably was mentioned, but if you are definitely going to collect HTH, you need a geek. But
You should have a geek. Don't say you need a geek. You should have.
you
a geek.
should
Yes.
have a geek. You don't need one, but yes. If you like multiplying stuff, yes, it's good to have it. Just like getting rainbows or sets. Yeah, you should have a geek. Not a lot for sale all the time, but yeah, reach out to the community, see if you can snag one. Lost Miners also have 2 of those because Slappy talked me into buying one. Yeah.
All right.
They go across to all sports. Sorry. So the color. Did you guys mention that?
No.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead
didn't know
and
if
say
you
it.
heard that or not. So the color pops, which I was confused on, for your geek, it pairs depending on the rarity of it. The All Stars are, I think, one, I believe. It pairs with one hero across
wait,
all of them.
Don't get into the numbers, but you can say that it's
Yes.
the all-star pairs with a certain amount, the hero pairs with more, and the legend pairs with the most geeks.
It's 1, 2, and 5. You can say the numbers. It's 1, 2, and 5.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, across to all sports. So if you have one, it's not going to pair with the football and baseball, basketball. I was confused on that. I thought it was per season or something. Just know that.
So I do want to say where Tex mentioned about at the very least get an all-star. I will say again, not knowing people's financial situation, if you can, you want the legend. And the hard part is almost everybody who starts at an all-star, as soon as they have it, they're immediately trying to get a hero or legend. So yes, which is Tex is in the same boat.
I finally got my legend at the National, and I worked a trade actually with a fellow member of the community for a combination of physical cards and cash, and that's how I got my legend geek.
That's awesome.
The last legend sold, not traded. Sorry, sold 2 months ago for 0.7.
Yeah, we paid, and actually a group of us bought one together about that time for about $1,500. So some people think the legends are around $2,000 to $2,500. I think the price is $1,500 to $1,600. That's where it is. It should be higher, but I think that's the true price. All right, I'm going to go around. Any final questions from the new folks? I just want to answer Chris's question about the shatters, because one of the confusion. There was a piece of confusion in the Radish digital auction that ended tonight for the football break spots about shatters. So Radish does have football shatters. They were not included in this. Generally, what we'll do is we'll do all 30 football home team heroes, and then we'll do 3 football shatter spots. And then what would happen is you would bid on shatter spot 1, shatter spot 2, and shatter spot 3. Well, we put all our rules. We say that the shatters are not included. So if you get tank, and we're ripping all these tanks, and you get 2 color pop tanks. Let's hope we do that. Is that you would get the color pops, you would get the aqua, you would get the commons. But when we go to rip those 3 shatters, we always say shatters are not included because those 3 shatters, people had bid on those 3 shatter spots separate from what was actually happening during the break. We didn't have the shatters going this time. There's just a technical issue. So there will be no shatters broken tomorrow night during Monday Night Football halftime. We will have an auction that's taking place with shatters going forward. The shatters are, we did something different for football over baseball. Blokpax did, whereas before they were giving them out like candy to those of us who were buying in the pre-sale, and everybody was getting shatters. This time, again, depending on the geek you had and based on how much BPX you held is how many shatters you got. So there were far fewer shatters released into the wild this time. So they're very coveted. I don't know, Chris, if that answers your question, but before we go to final words we'll go Jordan. I'll go down the lines. Jordan, James, Tex, are there any questions? Does anybody want to raise their hand? Chicago, any final questions from you?
No,
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm trying to soak it all in.
James is going to berate me after this. This was intended for an audience ready to this will be available in podcast and YouTube. Go back and rewatch it. And it's like to get to any point. But again, you're not intended to take all this in. You're intended to know what's out there and say, this one thing I care about. And a while ago, I should share something. This project really started exploding. I don't know how many months ago. It hasn't been like this for 2 years. It really is starting to hum. And I explained that I finally got to a point where I can't be involved in everything that Blokpax does. And in the early days, right, every time they had something new, you do it. You just did it because it always benefited you. It was fun. It was great to be part of the community. And I get to a point where bantams, I couldn't do everything. And at first there was anger because you're mad you can't do it. And it's funny, you can see members of the community who are like that as well. Then comes sadness because you're sad you're not being part of it. And then comes acceptance. And I'm finally at the acceptance. I can't do everything. So we went through all these silos, not to tell you this is what you have to be involved in. We shared it with you so you have a better understanding what you're getting involved with. Home Team Heroes has a big team behind it, supporting a lot of projects. They do it well. And if you're interested in any of those others, feel free to branch out, but it's not definitely don't go more than one place. Start with one and just get your feet underneath you with Home Team Heroes and that one other one. That's great news. I'm glad Chris, he said this was extremely informational. It just has me even more excited about the projects. So Tex, you're on top now. So I'm going to go to you first and stop talking to your wife or looking at the football game.
I'm trying to see what's going on in the game.
I know my son's waiting for me. I'm going to go watch the end of the Bills game with him. Wait, is it third or fourth?
Just started third quarter.
All right, good. I can watch some football with my son. All right, Tex, any final thoughts to the new people coming to Blokpax? Any final words of wisdom?
I don't know if they're words of wisdom, but I'm just so happy to see the influx of new people. I mean, I've been in this a little over a year, and one of the big things we've always talked about in this last year was, and with the moves Frenchie and the team been making to streamline all of this and get it off of OpenSea and create their own market and move to the credit card transactions and stuff, is how great it'll be once we start getting new blood in and introducing this to new people and bringing in new collectors. And we're finally at that point where we have new people coming in, and it's great. I can't wait. And hopefully, like Chicago has and Chris has and Jason has, they'll get more and more involved in the community and in the Discord and in the projects into the future, the rest of the HTH collections and everything. And the more the merrier.
Tex, I can't thank you enough for your expertise with the auctions, with the reward store, and just your experience since you've been in the Blokpax community. I really appreciate it. Jordan, any final words from you, just for the new people?
Yeah, so I was new in March, right? And it took me a while to figure some of this stuff out and how I did it. And yes, sometimes it may be annoying, you think, but it's not. You see what I did there? Ask. When you can ask me, Discord, whatever. Ask me any questions. If I don't have the answer right there, I'll try to figure it out for you. I try to help you make the best decision for whatever you're trying to do. And I know the community is that way. So, yeah.
And not to interrupt, Jordan, but never be afraid to add. People say this all the time, but there are no stupid questions. We've all been there. We all started from zero at some point. I myself literally knew nothing about any of this when I first got involved. Luckily, I was able to meet people like B-Jamps and Snappy and Hawkwind, and they walked me through it and, got me to where I am today. So
yeah, like Chicago.
Use the community.
If you need me to help you understand how to convert your Ethereum or buy it actually to a BPX, I can help you with that.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for that offer of help, Jordan. And Jordan, thank you so much nobody knows set building and the leaderboard like you do. I'm so appreciative that you could come on and help us with your insight. Jams, any final words from you?
Yeah, just to echo Texas sentiments. It's exciting to see new people coming in. They waited to turn on the ads until they had certain things ironed out, and I'm glad they did. It's definitely nice to see, and I think with some tweaks to their system, we'll keep seeing more and more new people come in, but for all the new guys, as everyone said, obviously, reach out anytime with questions, ask them in Discord, PM me, whatever. Always, always willing to chat. And, we went over a lot of different things, but don't think that you have to, that you have to participate in all those things, to be a part of the ecosystem. Especially some of those, I mean, are barely even parts of the ecosystem anymore, like lots, but that's okay. Yeah, but super excited to have you guys here, and let us know what else we could talk about next time, maybe, and look forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks, James, for joining us, sharing your knowledge about Raz, also for sharing your time. For folks who aren't aware, is that James is one of the largest whales in the space. He is, not only is he one of the largest whales, he's one of the biggest helpers in the space right now, giving away free Raz along with Zarek to the new folks. So always willing to lend a hand and help out. Can't thank you enough, James, Jordan, and Tex, for joining us tonight to help the new folks. New folks, thank you so much for coming on, this is being recorded, so we're hopefully going to help a lot of new folks, but it really helps to have that new mindset to stop us and ask those questions so we can help everybody. So if you have further questions, there's two places you can go. You can go into the Blokpax Discord, and you can go ahead and ask questions in the Blokpax Discord. It's the best community you're ever going to find, and they'll answer your questions. You can also go into the Radish Digital Discord. You go to radishdigital.com. You can find our Discord that way. We're also going to be, our Blokpax partner page is being developed, so we're going to have a page just for Blokpax to help you find your way to the Blokpax Discord. I will say sometimes for new people, sometimes you want to beat, I say sometimes you want to beat a horse to death, and you want to talk about a subject all day long from 9 in the morning till 5 at night. And sometimes it gets hard because Blokpax is a bigger community. And so it's hard because we might discuss 5 to 10 things during the day there. So if you ever have an issue that you really want to beat to death, feel free to go into Blokpax Discord in Radish, and we'll beat it to death. But again, you're always the Blokpax community. I don't want you to think that you can't beat something to death over there, because the nice thing about over there, there's 100 times as many members over there with even more experience who are willing to help. All right, that's going to be it for us. And so I appreciate everybody for joining us here at Radish Digital. That's it for this week. Thanks again to James, Tex, and Jordan. And thank you to the new people for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.